welcome back to my channel. It's Just Read VI and I'm back with another video. Welcome back, you guys. If you are a Just Reader, thank you so much for coming. I appreciate you guys and love you guys endlessly. As you guys know what to do, hit the like button. You're already subscribed, and I will see you down in the comments with your thoughts about this book. Super excited about being back. If you are new here, happy May. Welcome to my channel. I'm Just Read VI, and here is where I do book discussions, reviews, and I share my thoughts on all of them, as well as on my Instagram page where there's written reviews and then clips and links to see these videos. When I post, I share when I upload, all of that stuff. So definitely follow me on Instagram as well and subscribe if this is your vibe, if you're enjoying this, if you like what I have to say or would like to follow up on what I'm reading. Definitely go follow me on Instagram. I typically don't do as many videos as I did last year. This year I'm currently doing a 50 book challenge. Last year I did a 100 book challenge, and I uploaded, I would say, a lot more than I'm uploading now. I'm currently just doing recaps, but this book and a few others, you will be seeing me doing book discussions frequently depending on the read. Some books just need their own video. That's just what it is. This book is one of them. Partly because I follow this couple, so yeah, and so I would listen to the Casey podcast, and when I've heard that they were releasing a book, I was like, whoa, wait a minute. I clicked off the interview immediately. I'm not sure if you follow them on the Breakfast Club. Well, if you know DJ Envy, he's on the Breakfast Club, and then him and his wife have a podcast. But anyways, we'll get into all of that. Let me share the book that we're discussing today. So today I'm discussing Real Life, Real Love, Life Lessons on Joy, Pain, and the Magic That Holds Us Together by Rashawn, DJ Envy Casey, and Gia Casey. So I was scrolling on my YouTube feed and I saw that there was an interview and Gia was on there. So I immediately clicked it because I wanted to know, like, wow, she's on the Breakfast Club. What's going on? So they were discussing a book or sharing that they had a book out, and I immediately got off, went on Amazon, and I was like, I need to get this book. I didn't know that the book was already out as yet until today when I was looking up, last night when I was looking up, when was this book released? Because I got the art copy. So let me state that first. So I got this book for free. It was sent to me by Recorded Books. That's who they did the Audible version of their book through. So that I could listen, and I found out about the book last week, requested the book last week, got the book last week, so I just finished it literally yesterday, and I'm like, I need to do this review ASAP while these thoughts are fresh and share all my thoughts with you guys. So I'm super excited about doing this, especially since I used to listen to their podcast. I say used to because I read and listen to books a lot more now, so I don't really have the time to listen as frequently, really. But they always had good topics. They shared so much information, so I was like, I know this book can be really good. And plus, I ain't gonna lie to you, I definitely want to hear about the cheating. Like, I wanted to know about the infidelity and more details, and they were already so open with it on their podcast and doing interviews. I was like, I know they're gonna share more in this book, along with other things, which they covered so much. I have so many bullets to go through. I'm going to try my hardest not to make this too long of a video, but I believe in everything in this video. That's for sure. So definitely, meet me in the comments, because I really appreciate when people have read this book, or if it's a deciding factor in you reading a book, whatever. Definitely let me know. Let me know your thoughts, if you agree, disagree. I just knew this book was going to be a huge deal. I just knew it. So super excited to be talking about it. I don't even know where to begin. Like, I just pretty much say all of my intro stuff already. I done told you guys about the Casey crew. If you haven't, they do have a podcast. It's really cool. Let's start with the infidelity. So I found out about him cheating on her through the Breakfast Club. So like I said, I would watch the Breakfast Club before, knew about him through the Breakfast Club. Didn't watch their podcast until years later. I didn't really have a feeling for Gia. Like, in listening to the podcast, I was like, wow, this woman is really classy. She's super smart. She's a good woman. You know what I mean? Like, she's a cool, funny, like, prankster. Like, you really got the vibe from their relationship. Hence why I kept listening to the podcast, because they remind me, I see similarities in some of their beliefs and definitely their energy with my husband and I. We're super on top of each other, super lovey-dovey, want to do everything together. That's my best friend. Like, we have more than just like a partnership. It's just like everything. So it's really exciting to see and listen to somebody else that I get to identify with that. Because sometimes you kind of get a side eye, like, people looking at you like, is that really what it is? Or are you doing too much? But when you see or hear another couple, because I don't really know them and what really going on, but when you see and you can feel a vibe, it's like, wow, like, the similarities are just like, yep, he does do that too. We do that same thing. We feel that same way. It's always nice to be able to identify with stuff, right? So I got a lot of that, and sometimes my husband will hear when I'm listening, especially certain topics that we discuss, he would listen in. So, but anyways, before I started listening to their podcast, I just kind of, when I heard about the cheating and I saw who he cheated with, and then I saw his wife, and I was like, I saw similarities in the women, but I was like, okay, she just seems serious. But in listening to the podcast and seeing the interviews, I was like, wow, this woman is such a good woman. Like, why would you do that? I really struggle with, like, is he still cheating? Hearing that stuff from other people, that same energy, people are commenting, like, he's still cheating on her. She just staying for the money. You're hearing all these things. And she covered it all in this book. And I really, really appreciated that. And it's sad that as a woman, we will feel like, the whole staying, there's guilt in the staying for a woman. Like, you stay after he cheats on you. Why you stay? You stay for the money? We question people's, like, staying. You stay for the money, you stay for the kids. Like, why did you stay? And because I know I could speak for myself, and with staying, that's like a huge issue with infidelity, because I feel like we love each other so much, and that's what I struggle with them. I'm like, if you love her so much, like, why would you cheat? Why would you mess up such a great thing? You speak so highly about this woman. She's your everything. Like, why would you cheat? Why would you ruin this great thing that you have? I'm just so confused, right? So in the book, you learn more, because in the podcast, you will learn about his toxic traits and how he was very immature. They got together super young, 15 and 16, like super young. And to last all these years, like 27 years together, almost 21 years married. That is beautiful, right? But when you get together so young, which people really idealize or idolize, people like getting together super young, being high school sweethearts, getting married, having a family. But people don't talk about the pain and the struggle that comes through all of that, because you're growing and you're becoming individuals as you grow. And sometimes you grow apart because that's not the same thing. That person that you met was a kid. Now you're a grown man and you don't want her anymore. You have different interests. You have different, So with them growing together, because this is all in the infidelity tree subject. She told him that he wasn't satisfying her. She never had an orgasm, and she kind of weaponized it, said it during an argument, because she just felt bad, like, in not sharing it for all these years. Now, mind you, this is 10 years. After being with this person for 10 years, you say this now. It's a huge bomb to drop on a man. Not saying this excuses him cheating, obviously, because that's ridiculous, right? But he cheated after that, and you're bravado. You want to be a man. You want to feel wanted. He's in the hip-hop industry. He's doing all these different things. So with all that being said, like, it was super easy to do it, I'm pretty sure. But she didn't find out until years later. So when she found out, she discusses how she found out. They both discuss that. Like, when the conversation happened, what happened after the conversation. And it was just so sad, because literally a family divided. She just wanted nothing to do with him. She wanted to leave. She told him from the beginning, don't ever cheat on me. That's one thing I would leave you for. And I, as a woman, understand, because how we mean so much to each other, and you could do this. Like, I never got that. So, never, I don't, but in this situation, I understood more of the whys, especially when you've been with a person since you're 16 years old. Like, wow, that's a really long time, right? But, so they touched on all of that. She touched on her self-worth as a woman, struggling to stay, but God intervened. This is why she stayed. God intervened not once but twice and sent two people to her to say, God sent me, and when He send you to do something, He puts an overwhelming spirit, an overwhelming feeling on your spirit and your heart, and you have to do what He asks you to do. And as a Christian, I definitely it resonated with me because everybody I feel has had that feeling when you just know you have to do something. And sometimes it's not something that we always want to do. So after she heard it the second time from somebody that didn't know the person that told her the first time, no, relation, anything, she was like, okay, I really need to give this a try. Maybe I just being hard-headed. If God wants this for me, then this is what it needs to be, right? So I thought that was really cool. They spoke about building back the trust and him just needing to be what she needed him to be, and her understanding that I agreeing to stay and work this out, and I really need to do that and not be super rude, mean, picky, which you're gonna get because a woman scorn is a woman scorn. You cheat on me. You think I'm gonna just be like, okay, let's move on, it's done? No, I have to walk through my feelings, just like we need counseling and we need all these different things. I don't think they did counseling, which is a little strange, but they worked through it. And as you can, it seems, as you can tell, they seem really happy and like a really good couple. So, yeah. So they worked through that. They spoke about parenting. In the beginning, he dedicated the book to Gia. She dedicated the book to her mom. I did get teary-eyed when she spoke about her mom because she holds her mom to such a high standard, and her mom was such a phenomenal mom. She felt so good about what her mom did for her and who she was in her life. So that was really beautiful. They spoke about parenting styles, and how you have to change in the times. Certain things I agree with that with, but I just still feel like a good old-fashioned beating is what you need. Sorry, some things, nothing beats that in some cases. Good discipline, no, you gonna be. If you gonna be. You talking rude, you doing what I'm saying, you're gonna be. Sorry, just certain people try to find ways around that and saying, yes, talk to your kids, of course. My mother spoke to me, but she's speaking to me 5 and 10 times and I listen, and you gonna be. And that don't never do you anything wrong, because I didn't like licks, I didn't like getting beat, so I wasn't doing too much to get beat. She'll tell you, Denisha was doing what she needed to do because she didn't want to get beat. I didn't like it. So yeah, you fall in line. So that being friends with the kids, I don't really agree with being friends with the kids. I feel like you should have open conversation and you should talk to your kids and they should feel welcome talking to you. But this is something, again, that they speak about in the podcast with the relationship with kids and how the different topics and subjects that come up with their kids, situations, and I just disagree on some of it because there's certain conversations shouldn't be had until a certain time. What else? And I just don't believe in being friends with the kids, no. I'm your mother, you could talk to me and we can talk about something, but I'm not your friend, because that's where the line gets blurred and certain things start happening, and then they're privy to certain things, you're privy to certain things that just shouldn't be. It's like, no, we're not friends. Disciplining your kids, I touched on that already. Marriage. So let me give a disclaimer. Let's touch on the teenage relationship and controlling. So like I said, he was controlling, he would throw fits. They had to really grow to be where they were. They have a new plan, which they implemented with things changing, how they did stuff. And both of them, realizing there needed to be this great change and doing that. And a lot of the controlling stuff changed because he grew and he realized he couldn't be doing this stuff anymore. So that was really beautiful. He was insecure as a man too. He felt like nobody was going to be... She could find somebody that's better than him, stronger than him. He joked about being better looking at him, richer than him, more money, like able to provide a more stable home for her since he was DJing. Numerous things he did, numerous things he said, but they worked through it. And like I said, with, in most cases, with age comes maturity. And with certain situations, you have to mature. And when she was out, when she was leaving, she was leaving. So that really was a huge thing for him. Like, he knew he had to make a great big change. He even like tried to commit suicide, which was crazy. And that's why I said, like, get this book, because I learned so much more about them through it. It was really cool for somebody that was listening to their podcast. And watched a couple interviews with him speaking about a relationship. That's something I never knew. So he was really at a low point. And that's the thing, is like, when you know you could lose somebody that's so great in your life, Why would you do that? But, I finally watched an interview last night with them discussing it, and she said that he didn't cheat on me. He was cheating on himself because he knew that he wasn't all he needed to be. So it wasn't me he was cheating on, it was himself, in the insecurity, needing the bravado, the ego, needing that for him. So that's why he did it. And I was like, wow, that makes a lot of sense, so yeah. So marriage, you're never gonna agree with everybody about every single thing. There's nobody on the planet that every single thing in life you're gonna agree with them on. That's just how it works, right? It might come really close, but not. And here is some of the things that I definitely didn't agree with. So they're in the book stating that they're Christians, and they had to. God was a big part of them saving a marriage and building a relationship up with God for him specifically. She tightened up because she was, spiritual and with God somewhat because of her upbringing, but not like after. Because they had a friend that came into the home and really worked with them and prayed with them and teach them how to pray together every day and welcome God into their marriage, really, and ask him to protect them and bring them closer, and prayers that you should be having with your spouse and for your spouse every single day. They weren't doing that until after all of that big infidelity bomb dropped and they started to work in their marriage. That's when they did that. So which was really good, because I feel like we need him more than, I've said this in several videos, we need him more than we know. Each and every day, each and every single minute of the day, we don't even realize how many moments that he blocked stuff from reaching and hitting us. Family members that we love so much. We don't know. Each day we really don't know. So I thought that was beautiful, because God is the center, should be the center of your marriage, should be the center of your life. But definitely, as you have the union that he, wants for you, he should be in the center of that. And you guys are right there, right outside, holding hands, and he's literally in the center of it. That's how it lasts. That's how it stays together. That's it. However, in speaking about the walk, there were a few questionable things that I, just being me, I have to keep it real. I ain't gonna lie, so I ain't gonna make it seem like I agree with everything and this was all, because as a Christian, and I feel like it's our duty to speak openly about things that's right, about things that's wrong, or in command, or in his will, like his plan for us as Christians. We're supposed to be going out and leading people to Christ. And I feel like a couple of things in the book were misleading for people, especially if you're saying you're a Christian and you're aligning yourself with God, but yet you're encouraging threesomes and saying, ain't for me, but if that's what you want to do, then you could go ahead and do it. No, they ain't for nobody. That's not what he wants for you. As a Christian, I don't believe that. That's what should have been said. As a Christian, I don't believe that. God don't want that for you. A union of two is what he wants. And woman and man, and that's what it should be. So when people try to say, oh, and that's another thing, when people try to say, oh, you could kind of just do whatever you want to do. What? Is your marriage and you could do whatever works for you. That's not what God wants either. He wants his will for us. That's why I pray daily for your will over my life, my marriage, to rain down on me and my marriage, my kids. Like, well, I don't have kids yet, but my family. Like, I want your protection. I pray for your protection. I pray for your peace. I pray for your will over this person's life, that they could open their eyes and see what your will is for them. Like, you should always be wanting to be in alignment with what he wants for you and that person. And a lot of times we want stuff for ourselves that God don't want for us. And that's why we sometimes have a strong, I preach it, but we have this struggle life of like where we really try and make it, and we can't make it because, well, we're struggling to make it. Some people are there with it eventually, what they've been struggling through eventually, and they think that's God's will. It's not. Some things are just not supposed to be that hard. Like they spoke about how people, marriage is supposed to, like, people feel like love ain't supposed to be this hard, or they talk about how marriage is hard, or for me, it's the easiest thing I've ever done. I'm not going to make it seem like it's there's no work, because people say there's work and there's this. It's like you and your partner agree, you pray, you actively work to do the things that that person wants of you. It's going to come super easy because that's what you want. You in love, you want to please them, they want to please you. You kind of you learn to compromise. It's not always that easy when we need to deal with issues in ourselves. That's where the work comes in, is as you as an individual. First, you have to make sure you're where you need to be. But anyways, so back to the threesomes. he said he wouldn't want anybody with his wife. He just can't imagine man or woman. No, no, no. But if you want to do that, you know, because that was one of the question and answers, that the Q&As. If that's something that you want, you know, you talk to your partner and see, and if that's not something they're comfortable with, then you kind of have to just learn to work with that, live with that. No, it's not something that we should be doing. It's not something that we should be making people feel comfortable for, along with telling people what works for you, works for you. That's so much of a broad statement and once again misleading. And like I say, like, it was a really good book and I really enjoyed it, but these two things I definitely have to comment on, because we don't get to just do whatever we want to do in a marriage. No, you know, everybody has their stuff like, oh, well, we don't have the traditional marriage where he he just takes out the trash, goes to work, and I stay home, feed the kids, take care of everything, cook, manage the bills. What else? Cook, clean, all that stuff. No, he cooks. You know, I work. In a sense like that, if that's what's working for you, then yes. But we can't say just create your own type of marriage and whatever. No, there's just certain foundational pieces we should start with God, you know, that we understand that we should be living in accordance to. For example, this was something I agree with and I've been agreeing with them with, is money. Your money is my money. We only have our money. There's no other, there's not your money, his money, there's our money. And I really appreciate that, because that's how it should be. That's how God wants it to be, and that's what it is. You know, hidden accounts, you know, this, like I said, people are going to do what they're going to do, but I definitely am co-signing it, you know. So yeah, so that's a couple of stuff I had to discuss, because as a Christian I just wasn't down for that. I'll never agree with that stuff. But on to more stuff I do agree with. Quality time, money and finances, which I just discussed. I just see my disclaimer about religion and spirituality, getting to know God, praying and worshiping as a family. That's something else that somebody asked about, like, how do you start implementing that? And they say you just do it. You and your spouse start first. You start first, your spouse, or you could just, guys could start together because you're already one. And then you bring the kids in. You go to pray with them at night before they go to bed. And, you know, and these are stuff I'm really excited about doing as a family when we have kids. Because we pray morning and night together. I pray throughout the day by myself, pray over. If a fear come over me, I just say a prayer. Like, you know, that's how you build and that's how you have your relationship. Sometimes I just talk to him throughout the day. Thoughts come to me and I just, you know, talk to him. So yeah, so I appreciated that. Yeah, so this video probably didn't go for a minute, but those are my thoughts on this whole book. I didn't give away too much. Let me know if you guys read it. It was really good, like really good. I can go over my favorite part and why I would recommend this book. So my favorite part, which I kind of discussed already, was when they spoke about their kids. So at the end of the book, they go through the different, there are five or six kids. And they talk about each of them individually, their characteristics, and just what they love about them. I thought that was so beautiful. It just made my heart swell so much, because I love kids. I can't wait to have my own. So I was like, oh my gosh, I can't wait to feel this for my own children. Like, it's just amazing. I also love Gia's relationship with her mom. I spoke about how I got teary-eyed during the dedication, because it was just so beautiful how she kept a lot of the foundational pieces, you know, about financing and, you know, all the different things. They even spoke about, like, their real estate journey. That's something I didn't jot down, but their real estate journey and how, you know, they went into flipping houses and, you know, owning all this real estate and learning the hard way when they were first buying property and not really reading through and inspecting the property good. They spoke about so much different things. Oh, your wealth, and how, like, leaving generational wealth for their kids, and how he said, like, you know, a lot of people in the industry that he's in, you know, kind of just wanted the money and spend it as fast as it comes in, and just being smarter and really wanted to have. And if you have 6 kids, you really got to have some bank, because ain't easy leaving stuff for one child, much less 6. So, sir, I felt that, you know, that is all stuff that I love. If you guys have not watched my money series, you should go check those videos out. I posted them last year on great books about money and finances. And I always could relate to stuff like this, because, you know, people need to hear this message. And now I'm going to go into why would I recommend this book. I recommend this book because there's a lot of things that were discussed that not only could improve people's marriages but their lives. Like they spoke about so many different topics in this book that I couldn't stop listening to this book. Like my husband listened to some of this book with me because when we were driving to work, driving from work, I was washing up, I was cooking, I was cleaning, I was doing stuff at work that I could, be able to listen, like folding, doing laundry, whatever. Any chance I could get to listen to this book, I listened to it. I finished it in like 2 days. Like that's how good this book was. So yeah, definitely a good read. Just Read Stars, phenomenal. Like I said, 5 out of 5. It was literally just like listening to a podcast with them, which made it so cool, and yeah, I just really enjoyed it. So definitely check this book out. It was an art copy. I'm so glad, and especially glad that I was able to listen to it. Yeah. All right, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Be sure to let me know in the comments your thoughts if you read this book. And I will see you guys in the next video. Be sure to give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed. All right. Toodles.